AntsCanada. Ugh. What up? What up? It's your boy, Dr. COWFISH, PhD. How's it going, YouTube? I'm recording this reaction live on Twitch, so if you want to see live reactions, make sure to go follow my Twitch at COWFISH TV. Today, we're starting a 109-part series reacting to AntsCanada. He is into not just ants, but a lot of different animals, and he makes vivariums. What is a vivarium? Vivarium, it just means like a tank. No, a vivarium is like a tank, but it lives by itself. Does that make sense? Hi YouTube, W2, yeah, they'll be able to see that. They'll be able to see that in the video. W sweats, W names. But yeah, we're gonna be reacting to AntsCanada Vivarium series, 109 parts to the entire thing. There's 8 seasons. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe and leave a like. And it's muted. But it's alright.
I've always believed that ants are among the top most captivating organisms on the planet. And over the past 14 years that I've been creating videos of
14 years?
my ant colonies on this channel, living within their prodigiously crafted ant farms and terrariums, together we've marveled at how intelligent, resourceful,
Yo, wait,
mighty,
did he build all of those? All of those were his? Oh, what? There's fog in the glass. How? Bro, look at this one. It's a dragon. This is a real vivarium. Like, he puts like animals in here to live. These are insane, dude.
marveled at how intelligent, resourceful, mighty, aggressive, and diverse ants truly
He
are.
was eating that boy.
But if there's one lesson we've learned time and time again,
What's that?
to really appreciate the true brilliance of ants, one needs to see them within the context in which they exist in the real world. You see, there's just something about seeing ant colonies living like they would out in the wild, interacting with real elements in their environment, hunting.
All right, chat. Who thinks ants are cool, though? Who thinks ants are cool? You guys like ants? Type of one of you like ants.
Killing prey, forming important symbioses with other creatures like springtails that have a pact with the ants to eat and clean up the ants' garbage.
Wait, the ants got homies? The ants got homies that clean up their trash for them? Okay.
Nature, ants come face to face with other species of ants, and usually it's overlapping foraging trails, and on rare occasions, a full-out ant war over nesting territory and hunting rights. It's undeniable that watching ants in nature in a more true-to-life way is insightful and fascinating on a whole new level. Don't get me wrong, keeping ant colonies alone in an ant farm or terrarium like we usually do is an utter delight. But keeping pet ants
But if he's been doing it for 14 years, I would imagine.
in this way is still seeing a limited picture of the ants, like eyeing a tiny set of pixels that actually belong to a greater, more complex, and beautiful ecological tableau, which the ants actually belong in the world.
With Google Play
Oh,
Game
shut up.
Rewards with
Google Play Game. I don't want to see the peck on my screen.
Now for years, so many of you AC family, you awesome subscribers to the channel, have requested and pleaded for me to produce an ultimate ecosystem tank,
That's pretty dope, bro.
a vivarium, as they call it. But time and time again, I've dismissed entertaining such a request, mostly because I felt like I wasn't ready to tackle a project of such scale. I mean, how does one realistically assemble an entire ecosystem within a
How do you do that? No wonder he waited 14 years, bro. He had to do a lot of research.
glass setup, with just the right balance of plants, fungi, prey creatures, predators, parasites, detritivores, decomposers, etc.
Nah, he made that word up. What the hell is a detritivore? What the hell is a detritivore, bro? That sounds like a Pokemon.
Sure, you could create what is called a community terrarium by simply throwing in a bunch of organisms and plants into a tank, seeing how they interact. And many people have already done that. But
I knew it. That's how you do it. You just put them all into the same tank and you let them exist. But he said he's not doing that? What is he doing?
for me, this is not a true ecosystem tank. In fact,
Wha- How could you get deeper? What's bro reasoning, bro? What's your reasoning? AntsCanada. If I could call you Ants.
technically, I don't think anyone could create a true ecosystem tank unless the tank itself was massive. And I mean the size of a room massive. The
Okay.
reason? Creatures, especially
Bro.
larger ones, need space.
They eat dying things like roaches. Roaches are detritivores. Oh, they eat dying, so they're the ones that clean up after the rest of the like animals and stuff. They're the ones that clean up. I don't really got beef with roaches. It's just kind of like with every other bug. I don't want you in my crib, homie. Like I honestly don't got that much beef with roaches for real. But if you're in my crib, it's you're trespassing. We got laws and rights in this country. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Roach? La Roach.
Thrive, breed,
Crab.
and establish territory. And the bigger the enclosure, the more likely you are to create
Oh,
what
those frogs
resembles an ecosystem tank.
Dude, praying mantis are sick. Praying mantis are sick looking. The girls, after they like, then the female is like, I'm kind of feeling like a snack. I'm kind of feeling like, and then the babies grow up with no father. What about child support? She don't even want the child support. She's an independent woman.
But what about an ecosystem like Vivarium? Now this could be possible. I began to think further. Now, in my old ant room, creating such an ecosystem vivarium was simply unfeasible because I just didn't have the space for a huge tank. But now that we have moved into our new ant room 2.0, I do actually have the space at my disposal now.
This is it. This is what he calls his ant room, bro. He lives in the jungle.
Do actually have the space at my disposal now.
Yeah, you do.
I knew, however, creating the ultimate ecosystem vivarium would require me to apply my greatest of terrarium building skills and put my knowledge and experience of biology and animals to the test. And would be the most ambitious terrarium build I've ever done. But what finally pushed me to ultimately decide to take on an ecosystem vivarium project of such scale was this. After some thought,
Trees?
I realized that creating the ultimate ecosystem vivarium, from an antkeeper standpoint, could allow me to circumvent two very golden ethical rules of antkeeping that I usually never break.
What do you think the two ethical rules are? His new house is actually mental? Yeah, it looks mental, bro. One is probably don't squish them. Oh, it's probably like don't intervene. I bet the rule is like if all of the ants are dying because one frog is attacking them, you can't take the frog out. Okay, that might be a rule. That might be a rule.
First, many of you long to see our ant colonies form hunting parties to kill living prey. But
What? Many of you want to see. He said many of you. It's you guys. It's not me. It's you guys. You guys are telling him to. You want ant hunting? You want all the ants to show up with their pitchforks and their torches and go rah? Rule one gotta be don't mix the colonies because they're gonna cause war because they probably fight each other.
ethically, I always felt it was cruel to place living prey insects into an ant farm with no chance of escape or way to.
My older sister had a snake and I fed that snake one time. It wasn't even a live mouse. It was a frozen, dead already mouse. I don't care if he's dead, bro. We should have buried homie in the backyard with a little tombstone, mini little tombstone like this big, bro, and just.
Defend themselves like they would in nature. So I've always fed pre-killed feeder insects to minimize the suffering.
Okay.
But in an ecosystem vivarium, the prey insects would have more of a fighting chance, more space to run away, and
True.
places to hide.
Oh, what the heck is that? Look at his eyeball. Bro, his eyeball is like low-key shaped like a dill. I'm not gonna lie. Hands in the air. Bro got ideal.
Is to hide, and only
The new Apple product, the ideal.
the weakest and less apt prey insects would end up being killed by the ants. That would be just natural selection, which
Okay.
ethically I could jive with. Second,
Ethically, I could jive with. Yo, that sounds like a sentence that comes before like the most atrocious event in ant history. Bro said I could jive with it. Yo, he's about to wage war on these ants, bro. So he's saying that he's not scared to put prey insects inside because they'll have more of a chance. Bro, he's gonna be putting live enemies of the ants into the tank, and the ants are gonna form a war and eat homie. And he said because it's a big enough space, it's ethical, and that's why he can jive with it. Which kind of makes sense because an ant colony would probably be like this small, right, chat? Like this small. So imagine putting one of these bugs in a tank this small. Where's bro gonna go? But in a big ass tank, like a room sized tank, oh yeah, bro could fly away. Bro could definitely fly away. Okay. I see what he's saying. I jive with it too. Me too, Mr. Ants. I jive. We jiving. Yo, chat, who's up jiving? They
Many of you over the years have also requested for me to mix ant colonies together into a single enclosure to see.
Yo, names pre-fired that, bro. Please mix ant colonies together. I wanna see what happens. You wanna see a mass war with multiple ants dying on both sides. Those ants have families and children to go home to. And all you guys wanna see is them fight. Psst.
what would happen. But again, ethically for me, this was cruel and tantamount to cockfighting, as the losing
Oh, chicken fighting. Oh, bro. I had a very different image in my mind.
weaker ant colonies would have no place to retreat if they wanted to. But in an ultimate ecosystem vivarium, with an ample amount of space, weaker ant colonies finding themselves in an altercation with other more powerful colonies could have a fair chance to retreat to safety if they needed
Okay.
to, much as weaker ants
Dude,
would
this is
in the
gonna be
wild.
so good.
Another advantage I foresee is that the ant
No!
colonies in
Bring me that plant. Bring me that plant. What? What a. I'm drooling a little bit. Anyways.
an ecosystem type vivarium would have natural population regulators, as some ants could fall prey to predators like frogs,
Hey!
lizards, or spiders. So the colonies wouldn't be
Wait!
able to
Yo! How'd that ant get. Yo, you're fucking dumb, dude.
predators like frogs, lizards, or spiders.
Bro, this is literally natural. Yo, who. Someone liked my comment in the middle of my reaction. Bro, how did bro get up here? Yo, chat. How the hell did this dumbass end up in a web? He can't even fly. Bro, he can't even fly. How did he end up here? Bro walked into the web knowingly. Me if I was an ant. True. How did bro get up here?
So the colonies wouldn't be able to just grow and grow unchecked, which has happened to me in the past.
Wait, okay, wait, that's actually, this is gonna be insane, dude. Okay, so another issue that he's solving with the big tank is that when he put them in a small tank and the ants didn't have nobody to eat them, like they had no fights and no wars, of course they multiplied, bro. Imagine putting a bunch of bunnies in like an area and just letting them go crazy. You're gonna check back in a month, there's a million bunnies. I knew I should have went right. That's you when you driving in Fortnite. That's you when you driving in Fortnite because you be driving and then you also be doing your taxes and then you also be on the phone with your insurance agent and then you also be cooking dinner all at the same time when you're driving in Fortnite, bro. And I'm in the car like, where are we going?
So, in light of all of this, I finally decided the time was now to give this ecosystem vivarium build a try. So AC family, for all of you who've been wanting for years for me to create the ultimate ecosystem vivarium,
way.
those of you
said
who've
for
been
years
requesting
they've
for
been
me to
wanting
mix my
this?
ant colonies together in a single enclosure, and indeed, even those of you who've wanted to see the ants hunting and killing live prey, and not just pre-killed insects handed to them on a plate.
Okay. So wait, he's gonna build a gigantic ecosystem the size of a room, introduce multiple ant colonies and prey insects. So the ants have the other colonies to worry about, their own colony to worry about, and then their actual natural predators are existing in the tank as well. So at any time, they could get caught up. They could get backdoored at any point.
I'm pleased to announce that I am finally ready to take on the challenge in the name of science and
Oh.
document what
That's a praying mantis? That is, right? Oh, he's like, He's like brown. But he's upside down though. He's low-key mantis man.
What would happen if I placed multiple ant colonies in one massive ecosystem-type vivarium? With this project, we'll finally get to marvel at the true brilliance of the ants in their natural element, within the context in which they exist in the real world. This is part 1 of creating an ecosystem vivarium ruled by several ant colonies of mine. But the ants will not have it easy. For the first time, they will have to contend with the elements, predators.
Yo, wait, this dude is a 10 out of 10 commentator, bro. Yo, AntsCanada W's, bro. Holy, this is episode 1 and this is how he's narrating it? Bro, this feels like a movie. Bro, I feel like I'm watching National Geographic, bro. This is episode 1? Dude, this is gonna be such a good series.
Hunting challenges.
Yo, God, they just took the whole lizard. Oh, I was too busy yapping. What? What?
They will have to contend with the elements, predators, hunting challenges.
They taken the whole lizard? He was probably dead first. He was probably dead
Dangers,
first, to be honest.
and each other. Will we be able to build the ultimate ecosystem vivarium? Will the various ant colonies we choose to place into our grand ecosystem thrive, or will they falter at the hands of the vivarium? It's time we lay the groundwork and find out. Welcome to the story of how I build the ultimate ecosystem vivarium for ants, here on the AntsCanada Ant Channel.
Yo, AntsCanada. What the? Bro, is this a furry ad? There was a bunny chick on my screen. Get this out of here. Building the ultimate ant ecosystem vivarium. Tales from the Antverse. AntsCanada. Wait, let me make sure I'm subbed, bro. I am subbed. Alright, just making sure. AntsCanada, bro.
Guys, it's my greatest honor to start this huge ant vivarium project with you all, as I've been waiting for just the right time to begin. And I figured there couldn't be a better time to embark on such a vivarium building journey with you guys than now, as it would be the perfect celebration of reaching 5 million subscribers on the channel. At the time of creating this first episode, there are a little over 21,000 subscribers left until we hit that milestone. So guys,
yo, make sure you guys subscribe to AntsCanada. If you guys are on YouTube and you get a chance, bro, look up AntsCanada, give him a sub, bro. W5 mil, that's crazy, bro. He deserves it. If anyone deserves 5 million, gosh, dang, is this dude, bro.
My hope is that the AC family finally reaches 5 million subs at some point during the course of this long-awaited ant ecosystem series, for which I have...
Bro, what if we react to this and he adds a cowfish? Eventually, he's gonna see it. He's gonna be like, all right.
Some very big and exciting plans. So, if you are watching and haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do hit that subscribe button so you too could follow and be part of this truly groundbreaking milestone ant experiment. I truly appreciate the support and cherish every sub. All right. So before we go over the plans for this giant vivarium build, let's start from the beginning.
Mr. Ants?
An ecosystem vivarium. I had so many questions and lots of decisions to make for such an ambitious project to work. Like, how big of a tank are we talking about? Where in my ant room would we build it? What type of habitat and design would it be? What animals and various critters would be living inside it?
True.
Would it have a complex aquatic portion to it?
Yes, you need a cowfish.
And of course, most important of all, what ant species and existing ant colonies of ours would be moving into the ecosystem vivarium? All of these questions burdened me night and day for a good few months. But in this video, I'll be answering and addressing all of these very important
did these ants eat a bird?
questions
about to go to bed tonight.
and going over all my plans for our great ant ecosystem vivarium.
That's an ant baby. That's an ant baby.
I will be needing your help with certain decisions, especially with deciding which of our currently existing ant colonies we will be adding into the vivarium. I want all of you to be an influential part of all this historic AC ant lore. Oh, and I'll also be showing you a concept sketch for what our great ecosystem vivarium might hopefully look like. So do stay tuned for all that coming up. So AC family, let's begin.
There we go.
Let's start with the plan, location, and size. As mentioned, the ecosystem world needs to be big for it to truly work, but I needed it to be small enough that I can still get in and properly film all the action.
Get in. Wholly unemployed.
Lifeless terrarium I built using fake plants, currently in my bedroom. I foresee something kinda like this.
No. Oh, he built a it's just fake plants. Okay, there's no ants in there. I thought he had ants in his bedroom.
Using real plants, more soil, and a ton of animals and critters living inside it. I also need to make something much, much bigger than this for the ecosystem vivarium to actually work. Because,
True.
as mentioned, a massive terrarium would allow for plenty of space for the creatures within to thrive.
Yo, Chad, that was a horny frog, right?
And then set up our massive ecosystem vivarium here. The side of it would be pressed up against this pillar and extend
He didn't have to flex like that.
all the way to the middle of the ant room. That makes the entire tank over 10 feet long. It would be as deep as the pillar, so approximately 33 inches deep, and would have upper housing for lights, as well as sit on a little riser, so we don't have to sit on the floor to watch the action, making the entire vivarium approximately 6 feet tall. In total,
A 6 feet tall vivarium?
this makes the entire tank over 1,200 gallons in size.
Damn! 1,200 gallons? It could fit 1,200 gallons of water? Oh, hell nah.
1,200 gallons. I have never in my life built a terrarium that large, let alone a vivarium with various creatures living in it. Speaking of which, I'm sure a lot of you are now wondering, AntsCanada, what creatures will you be putting in it?
True.
Well, I'll tell you what I have in mind. But before I get to that, we have to
Oh, is that a millipede? That was a millipede, huh?
address this very important detail first.
What? What's the
Biome
important
type.
detail?
Meaning to say, will our
Oh.
vivarium be a desert-type habitat, a semi-aquatic marshland-type world,
Louisiana?
perhaps a grassy plains-type ecosystem?
Okay.
Well, AC family, I've decided to go with tropical forest for
That
our
wasn't
ecosystem.
none of the options.
Simply because I live in the tropics, and all the ant colonies I keep are tropical ants from my yard. So it would be much easier to source the plants, ants, and cohabiting creatures that will be going into our ecosystem world
True,
than if we
true.
were to go with some other type of biome. I will simply keep adding in more and more animals and creatures over time as I
Axolotl.
find them outside
Oh,
to
that spider looks sick.
biodiversify our great vivarium. Now, one thing I wanted to address is a water feature. I do want our ultimate ecosystem vivarium to also have a water feature. But here's the
Bro.
thing. Originally, I delighted at the idea of an awesome waterfall
Bro, he's gonna have a waterfall, river into a pond type be inside the vivarium?
through the setup and emptying into a pretty sizable pond, housing a ton of various tropical fish, beautiful aquatic plants, and other creatures, as many
Fish.
tropical forests do have waterfalls, ponds, rivers, marshes, etc. But the thing is, our space, though large, is still somewhat limited, and my hopes is
Mr. Greedy! Bro, it's talking about my space is limited.
that the vivarium will host a broad array of terrestrial species, ants and otherwise. And most of the land species I hope to add don't typically live right next to a sizable body of water, and probably won't do well in soils that are
okay.
overly wet either.
That's
My
true.
fear in adding a large marsh area, for instance, would definitely look really nice, with lots of fish, shrimp, snails, perhaps even a newt or axolotl.
Axolotl.
It might
Wait,
also
what
be
the
a
hell is a
drowning
newt?
hazard
We back.
for
What
many
you saying?
ants and critters I'm
Welcome
thinking
back,
of adding
saying.
in, who typically don't live that close to bodies of water. If our setup was the size of an entire room, then yes, perhaps it might be safe to add a larger aquatic area. But for our somewhat limited vivarium parameters, I foresee a ton of earthworms, ants, and other critters crawling into the water, drowning, fouling it up, and just causing a lot of complications. Unlike fire ants, which can form cool rafts on water and are actually quite proficient
Fire ants can make rafts? Wait, what? They make a boat? Are ants floatable? Floatable.
living around bodies of water, most ants do not do well living around deep water 24/7.
Buoyant.
So I'm still
Ants are
undecided whether or not we should add a complex body of water in the setup. If ever, more of a little waterfall emptying into a kind of shallow puddle, a place for our ecosystem creatures to drink.
Oh, that's
Or
the
in
same
the case of
spider.
amphibians, have a good soak. But that's it. I don't know.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
Well, I want.
Okay,
Well, I want fish. What do you think? I want fish, bro. What you're showing me on the screen, that's what I want. I don't want a puddle. I want like fish in the tank too. He gotta include fish, right? He can't just discriminate.
and now it's time we go over what
That
animals.
is the bluest lizard I've ever seen in my life. That was not a real lizard. There's no way.
Okay, and now
That's a dragon. At that point, that's a dragon, bro.
it's time we go over what animals I've been hoping to add to our great ecosystem vivarium. Let's leave which ant colonies we want in for afterward. I wanted to mention my wish list for animals first. Now, it took me a while to come up with this list, but I think you guys will truly love it. Listen to this.
Abraham Lincoln united a nation that was
Yo,
deeply
he said,
divided.
listen to
He
this,
gave
and
his
then it
life
played an
as a
Abraham
martyr for the
Lincoln ad.
cause of peace.
Yo, I don't need an
Every
Abraham
hero's
Lincoln ad,
journey
bro. I know who
begins.
he is. I'm not buying the president of
First,
the United States.
Let's start with the most basic of creatures, the soil creatures.
That's all your
These will be
creatures.
the most abundant of creatures in our ecosystem, as they play a very important role in the ecosystem world we create.
Roly-polies! I
Now, the
love
soil I'll be
roly-polies.
placing into our ecosystem terrarium will be bioactive, meaning it will host
Bioactive.
a plethora of living soil creatures,
Radioactive.
namely earthworms, isopods,
Worm.
springtails, mites, millipedes, and even land crabs.
Land
These terrestrial
crab.
creatures will be important at converting decaying and organic material in
Oh,
our
he looks
ecosystem
sick.
world into valuable fertilizer for the plants of the ecosystem to
Would you
thrive.
eat them for
Speaking of
protein?
plants, as you may have
Hell
guessed, I will be
nah.
using a variety of tropical plants and mosses
I would.
to bring life and
Brad's gonna eat
vibrancy
the
to the
ants.
ecosystem. It will help provide cover and habitat for the array of creatures and even ants living in our ecosystem.
Okay,
I may
okay.
also consider adding carnivorous plants, if you guys think we should add them.
Plants that eat meat? What kind of plants are we talking about?
But what will be controlling the plant growth in our ecosystem world, you might ask?
Oh, so somebody's
Well,
got to eat the plants.
Herbivores. I plan on including a team of herbivorous creatures into our
Snail. Look at this snail. Oh my god, he looks sick. Now he's got the shits right here like but then he also got the shits right here.
ecosystem world, including native crickets, forest roaches, snails, and others that I can find. These herbivores will
Capitilla.
have all the space and plant food they need to thrive and freely multiply as they would.
The plant you wanted earlier in the vid was a meat eater. I saw a dinosaur eating my $100 V-Bucks card in my... Alright.
In the wild, but their
W Brain on
populations
Netflix.
would need to be controlled. What then would be controlling the populations of herbivores? Of course, predators. This is
Yo.
where things get interesting.
What is that? What is that? Yo, if I saw that in real life, I'd tweak. Is that a spider? It is. He has 4 eyes. What is in front of his face? Low-key, he got the D and the balls. He low-key got the D and the balls on his face, bruh. Why is it so phallic shaped? That's a spider? What is that? He looked like he got the shits to cook meats and stuff, bro. The tongs for the kitchen. He looks like if you grabbed his mouth and you went, it would make a sound like a ting ting.
For predators, I hope to include a team of various spider
That's a sick
species,
spider.
centipedes, maybe a
Centipedes?
mantis,
Oh,
toad,
yo, wait, that mantis was sick. I like mantises.
various
Wait.
spider species, centipedes,
Did that
maybe
mantis? That mantis is the color of a flower? Jeez. Okay. Wait, that's a really pretty mantis. It's the exact color of the pink flowers. How did they evolve to be that color?
a mantis, toads or frogs, geckos, possibly native agamid or skink lizards, and of course,
A gamid? Wait. That's what that blue lizard was called. A gamid.
ultimate stars of our ecosystem world
There's
and
a
of
said
this
ant.
channel,
The said ant stuck in a
ants.
web.
And so, AC family,
Yo, they ate
now
the
that you know the
centipede.
parameters we're working with, the time has come for all of you watching to be part of this channel's history and ant lore. To choose
Okay,
what
okay.
species
Me?
of ants we will be moving into our vivarium.
Bro, probably
So
did
please listen
polls.
carefully, because I'll be explaining why I think each ant species and colony may or may not be a good fit for our ecosystem.
Okay, why?
I'll be asking you to give me your preferred ant species list as a comment in this video at the end. So, you can start a working ant list now as a comment, then hit send by the end of the video to post it for
Okay.
me and everyone else to see in the comment section. Feel free to also give your reasons
The
on why
comment
you
sections are
choose
probably
the ant
crazy
species
on
you
these
did
videos.
for our ecosystem vivarium. Seeing all your feedback will surely help me decide, as you guys never fail to have brilliant ideas
Dude, that's actually so sick. Imagine including your like viewers in this. That's actually so sick.
and input on this channel. Sound
That's
good?
actually sick. Imagine
Now, I
voting for
should
these.
mention that our goal should be to choose ant species that will not undoubtedly annihilate each other,
True.
but hopefully coexist together. And by coexist, I don't exactly mean hold hands and sing kumbaya, forming peaceful
The ants not gonna be singing kumbaya, bro. That was a chunky ant. Yo, don't body shame the ants, Razzie. What the hell?
alliances. Though, if that did happen,
They
that
don't
would
even
surely
got
be
ant
cool to
gyms.
see. But rather, establish clear territorial boundaries and foraging trails within the ecosystem.
So he wants gangs. He wants ant gangs. He wants a bunch of ant gangs in there that respect each other's territories. Okay.
That the colonies will simply defend, as they would in the wild, and not go into full-out war over. In nature, ants encounter other species of ants all the time, and don't end up going to war with each other, as this would be costly, both energy-wise and worker force-wise.
Okay.
I think we should try our best to choose ants that occupy different niches within the habitat. For
I
instance,
think it's niche.
trapjaw ants nest in soil, and the chances that they would end up going to war with arboreal ants that nest high up in the wood, like our chromatogaster ants,
Oh.
is pretty slim, because they just
Bro, that's true. There's ants that live higher up, like in the wood and stuff. That's probably how the said ant got stuck in that web. They're probably living in the wood high up.
don't nest in the same type of space. So, in choosing the ant species, guys, I hope to limit the amount of ant species that nest in the same niche to simply 1 or 2 ant species max. Cool? Alright, here we go.
10-minute alert.
Playing on
10-minute
iPhone?
alert.
Now you can play Unlocked on
Shut up,
PC
Google.
with Google Play Games.
First, let's start with soil-dwelling ants.
10-minute alert.
I have
for
a
real?
few in mind that I think would make great residents within our tropical forest
Yo, you're right. I had to pee. All right, chat. Let's continue the video.
ecosystem. The trapjaw ants, whom we have recently named the snapdragons. This colony has been thriving in their current setup for years now. The colony is composed of several thousand ants, but
Snapdragon.
within our large ecosystem, I don't think they're big enough to completely dominate all the soils from the get-go, which is good. My hunch is they will claim a large chunk of soil, perhaps under some large driftwood or rock, and simply grow steadily outward from there. They're also amazing
Okay.
ants to watch and hunt living prey. So I think our trapjaw ants would make epic additions to our ecosystem.
So, chat. At this point in the video, what he's doing is he's recommending ant species, but his channel and his viewers at the time when he made this video did polls. He did polls with his members and stuff, and his viewers actually got to choose which species and ants and animals get added. They get added to the vivarium, but the chat's gonna choose like viewers. So right now, all he's doing is he's proposing some of the ant species and animals that he wants, so that he knows his viewers like have it in their mind at least, you know? Because if he didn't give them any inspiration, they would just choose whatever, and it might have messed up the whole build.
If you think the snapdragons would make worthy additions to our ecosystem tank, add them to your official ant species list entry now in the comments. Next, our spades, our cute
The
Maranoplus
spades.
bicolor ant colony, a species dear to us, as we were the first in the world to discover they existed in my country of residence.
He found these ants for the first time in the world in his country. He was the first person to find these ants in his country. Is that real? He earned the name AntsCanada, bro. How do you discover an ant species in a country? I guess you just go out looking for ants. That sounds like fun. Chat, should we do an ant hunting stream?
They've been completely thriving in their new open concept bowl terrarium I placed them in. And though they also nest in soil, I think simply due to their smaller size, ferocity, and protective spiny hairs, they won't be in too much danger if they ever come face to face with the trapjaw ants. This is my educated guess anyway. What do you guys think? If you feel the spades should be added into the vivarium, add them to your official ant
like
species list entry
more.
now in
I
the
like
comments.
the snapdragons more, bro.
In terms of our Dracula ants,
Dracula
I actually
ants?
prefer not to add this colony
What the hell is a Dracula ant? Are you telling me there's ants that suck blood?
because I'm still trying to film the process of the workers drinking the blood of their larvae for scientific.
What? The larvae, the babies, no? Bro's utilizing his child-based audience to promote educational content. My child-based audience. Yo, Galactic, I didn't know you were 12.
Purposes. And if we add our Dracula ants into the mix, they'd surely disappear into the darkness of the soils, and I won't be able to do that. Perhaps if I find another Dracula ant colony, I'll consider it. But for
That's
now,
crazy.
no on the Draculas.
So he can't even add them because he hasn't even got them to do the thing that they're supposed to do yet. He's trying to record them sucking the blood of their babies. Hey, yo, the morning light is turning blue. The feeling is bizarre. Nah, what?
Sorry, guys.
Hey, you little milk guzzler. Mom's boob is sore. Good thing Amazon helped.
Yo!
Now I know what a lot of you are thinking. Fire ants. And to this I say a flat out
Moving on.
no. I don't want to include fire ants into our ecosystem because as
Bro,
they know
but wait, the fire ants were the ones that he said made rafts, bro. How you not gonna include the ants that can make boats? How you? But maybe fire ants are like me. The TikTok brain took over for Thamer. True. Yo, what the heck? He doesn't want to add them, probably because they're too mean, huh?
normally do in real ecosystems, they become totally invasive and throw off the ecological balance
Those
by
goddamn
competing,
bullies.
displacing, and even killing other terrestrial ant colonies.
What is
Remember that our aim
are they
here
eating?
is to
Is that the
establish
lizard?
an ecological balance
That
of
is
sorts,
the lizard.
not a stark plot of Earth ruled by one dominating ant species. Adding fire ants into our ecosystem
ants just-
would be a terrible
Bro, they
mistake,
eat
in my
lizards.
opinion.
Yeah, they're
Same
not
goes
coming
for
in.
our black crazy
Sorry,
ants.
bro.
They would totally wipe out the setup clean of life. Non-negotiable,
crazy
they
ants
aren't going in.
are violent.
Sorry, fire ant and black crazy ant fans. But what about the fire ants' native counterparts, our marauder ants, named the
Marauders?
Leviathans?
Oh.
Yes, we could add
Wait, that name is Aura. They're called the Leviathans? What makes them called that, bro? The Leviathans. Oh, that's low-key Aura.
them to
name.
our ecosystem, and they are native ants. However, our Leviathans are just so big and powerful that they would surely wipe out all prey insects within the ecosystem
Oh,
enclosure,
they're too
as well as
strong?
any and all
I guess that's why they're
soil-dwelling
called
ant
Leviathans.
species. If the ecosystem enclosure was as big as a room, maybe that could work, but for our current plan, I don't think the Leviathans would be a good fit for our ecosystem.
Yo, he's named like 4 species he doesn't want in the video. He's named like 4 species he doesn't want in the video. Hey, bro, how about you recommend one that we can choose? Dr. Reese cards of words, fishing, and singing horses, please? What the heck is that?
World. Sorry, Leviathan fans. Alright, now let's move on to another niche. Wood-dwelling ants.
Wood dwelling.
I
Oh, yeah,
have some
this was the ones we were
carpenter
talking about
ants
earlier.
that would truly make great additions to the ecosystem. I have a very active and exploding colony of a yellowish-orange species of carpenter ants, as well as a large black species, both currently living in an AC test tube. AC test tube
So
portal
carpenter
starting
ants would be
setup
like,
from AntsCanada.com.
obviously ants that
Both
eat
colonies
wood?
are just about ready
Do they
to
eat
take
the
their
wood or
next
they just
step
live in the wood?
and be moved into a larger home. I believe with enough rotting wood slung all over the vivarium,
Okay.
we just might be able to house both species of these carpenter ant colonies in our ecosystem
Both
world.
at the same time?
Again, this is
Mr.
just a guess,
Greedy.
and I'm not 100% sure it would work. We could err on the side of caution and only put one carpenter ant colony in, but let me know in your species list if you feel one or both carpenter ant colonies, or none, should be moved into our vivarium. Another ant that lives in wood that I think could share the niche
Another
amicably
wood
with
ant?
the carpenter ants are our unidentified chromatogaster ants that currently reside on an open concept
What the hell is a chromatogaster ant? That's not real.
Island. This species is also of scientific significance because they just might be a brand new undiscovered species. Still waiting for the results. But
He's saying he discovered a new species? Does that mean he named them that? Or they're a species of chromatoblasters, whatever the hell that is. Bro, what? Imagine?
due to their tiny size, I think they could be added to our ecosystem too, choosing wood unoccupied by carpenter ants without problems. Let me know in your species list in the comments. Our blades of Midas, our huge Polyrachis ant colony, who create debris.
Blades of Midas, Polyrachis ant colony. That is a mouthful, bro. They could be a new variant? True, like a new variant of those blaster ants.
Nests among wooden structures could also be added to our ecosystem. But they're truly a big colony, and I'm unsure how they would do in our vivarium. I suspect they may or may not go to war with carpenter ants, sharing the branches. But would
He said they're a big colony, so they probably reproduce fast. They'll probably start war with the other ones.
definitely win if it ever happened, simply due to the numbers game. So I'm inclined to say no to the Polyrachis, just to err on the side of caution. Sorry about that, Blades of Midas fans. Now, AC family, there is one other species of ant that I'm unsure would work, but in my mind, could. You see, it's one of my favorite ant species of all. And if the ecosystem is designed correctly, these ants just might actually work. But this brings me to my biggest question of all for you guys. Do we add an apex predator ant species to our ecosystem? Asian
Wait,
weaver-
I didn't hear what he said. I was too busy vibing. That was low-key the biggest jam of 2026. Did he said he is going to add fire ants? Lock in camera. Thank you. Did he say he is going to add fire ants? Ant variants before GTA 6. Invincible edits. I did not even notice names is here. Yeah, Thamer, that's because you're just spamming in the chat instead of watching the video. No wonder you got timed out the other day, bro.
ants. Perhaps one of the most powerful predatory native ants of the tropical ecosystems they're part of. Certainly the apex native ant predators in my yard. If added to our tropical forest world.
The apex ant predators of my yard. Bro, you didn't even want to add the other ones because they were too aggressive. This is the apex ant in your own yard and you're going to add them? Why does he keep bringing up species that we can't add, bro? I've been here. Yeah, I was on Twitch though. Oh, true.
Would nest within the leaves of any
Yeah, we're
tree
also
or
on Twitch,
bush
chat.
we place into our ecosystem. But would forage for their food at all levels of the tank, from the
Okay.
highest of treetops to the soils. I currently
Oh,
don't
they
have a
go
weaver ant colony in
everywhere.
the ant room, but we can certainly collect one from any of the trees in my yard.
Wow.
But my fear is if the weaver
Bro, he's literally talking about he's just going to go outside and steal ants from the tree to put in here. That's crazy. We the Green Brothers? Huh? What that mean, bro?
ant colony gets too powerful, they could totally wipe out all prey insects, as well as predators, including
Oh, the music
lizards,
came back.
and possibly all other ant colonies within the system. Nothing really would be safe from a massive and ravenous weaver ant colony foraging all corners of the tank. But what if we added a young weaver ant colony with just a few thousand workers?
Oh, wait, that's low-key big brain. Like a colony that's not yet evolved in its own, like, space yet? Your broke app viewers can't even afford 149? GG's, bro. It was 149 for you? It should have been 99 cents. Huh?
Would a young weaver ant colony be of danger to the system, where some workers fall victim
Your guys' names are green.
to biological population regulators like predators? I actually don't know. Here's where I would love to hear your opinions though. I'm totally okay with not adding weavers to the ecosystem too. Let me know your thoughts in your species list.
Okay, so he wants to add the weavers. He does want to add the weavers, but he's saying that he doesn't have any, chat. There's none in his like vivarium area yet. There's none in his vivarium. That is weird. Galactic, maybe it's taxes?
Alright guys, and these are my initial plans for our ultimate ecosystem terrarium. You can now hit send on your recommended ant species list comment, so I can see what
So which ants out of all of the ones that he mentioned, I think the two that I would want would be one the yellow carpenter ants. Those were fire. Those look sick. And then the second would be that snapdragon one, chat. The snapdragon ants, they have like snapping jaws, is what he said. I think that one, so they can fight back against whatever he puts in there.
You guys think? In terms of this whole ecosystem Vivarium project, it's definitely ambitious. But if we can get this ecological experiment to work, it would definitely shed new light on how our ant colonies live in the wild. Because for the first time, we'll be able to watch the ants living with the plethora of interconnected species of creatures and plants
Okay.
with which they share their habitat.
Corix, it's funny that you say that, bro, because he said he is. At the beginning of the video, he said he's gonna add ants, right? But then he's also gonna add water, so he can put like frogs, fishes, and then the other animals and bugs are gonna be like millipedes, lizards, praying mantises, roly-polies, and land crabs. He said land crabs. He did actually say it. I'm eating a breakfast pot pie, trying to avoid the actual screen and just watch your reaction. Were you trying to so you can eat? Were you trying to avoid the ants so you can eat? Fair enough. I have a pet frog. Yo, that's actually sick, Corix.
It would be a true milestone in the husbandry of ant keeping and an interesting experiment
what is that,
to
spider?
watch play out.
How's that
I know,
spider?
with your help, we can pull this off together. Do let me know if you have any other ideas for our ecosystem that I may not have covered. I didn't want to start building our vivarium without hearing ideas from you guys first.
Okay.
A team has already come into the ant room to make initial measurements in order to start manufacturing the
Yo!
glass and
He already had construction workers in there. Dude, they're planning it out. I have a pet dog. W's, bro. Does he ribbit?
parts needed to make this project happen. It will surely take time to have it done right, so I don't want to rush things. And I want this ecosystem world to be a collaborative project with all of you, the AC family, who have over the years
Okay.
walked an incredible journey of nature discovery with me. And again, hopefully somewhere along this ecosystem world building journey, we will have hit the big 5M subs. And when we do,
Hey,
I have something very
AntsCanada.
special planned. So again, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with all your friends and family to get them involved as well in this ultimate ecosystem world creation.
Yo.
I know deep inside, this will be the greatest of ant worlds we'll have ever created. I can't wait to see how it all comes together.
That's that
In
plan
part 2,
again.
after I've
Bring
heard
me
your
that
feedback
plan.
on what ants we're putting in, we shall begin with our next step, which is to lay the foundations for the Vivarium build. This will require plenty of thought and preparation, but trust
Plenty
me
of
on this,
thought.
it will be so fun. Until
True.
then, thank you all for watching and supporting the ants.
Yo.
It's Ant Love. Forever.
Yo, W's, chat. W's. No, that was crazy. That was a great video, dude. That was a great video. All right, YouTube, if you enjoyed that, if you enjoyed this react video, make sure you leave a comment. Let me know if I should continue the AntsCanada series, all right? I love you all. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.